Hello children, how are you? I hope that everybody are fine and staying safe at home. This is your Saubhagya Madam. In our last video, we have discussed many points regarding how to store the food. Yes children, how the food is being prepared. So now children, today we are going to learn about preserving food. Repeat it children, what it is? Preserving food. So, what is meant by preservation? What is meant by preservation? See children, if your mother have given you 10 chocolates, so can you eat all the chocolates at a time? No. So what you will do? You will eat 1 or 2 chocolates and you will store the remaining in a small box. Yes, so that you can eat the other chocolates afterwards. In the same way, the food which is there at our home have to be preserved. So, the storing of food for further use is called as preservation. So what you have done, you have stored the chocolates so that you can eat them tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So what you have done with the chocolates, you have stored them. So in the same way, the food is also been stored. See children, at our home, our mother will prepare rice or curries, or sometimes she will prepare you tiffins or some snack items. So the food which is cooked at our home, we will eat it daily. If sometimes some amount of curries are been left over, so what your mother will do? She will take them and put them in the refrigerator. Have you observed this children? Okay. So what mummy is doing here? Mummy is storing the food material. Okay children. So sometimes if you go to your grandparents' home, so what your grandmothers will do, they will prepare you nice snack items like jantikalu or any mixture, something like that, or any sweet item. So you can't eat all the food at a time. So what your mother will do, or your grandmother, she will store them in big containers or steel boxes or in the cans. So what they are doing? In all these concepts, what we are doing? We are storing the food. Okay. Now I'll ask you one more question. Why we have to store the food, or why we have to preserve the food? So children, I'll give you one example. Your father have brought some bananas to home. You have eaten few and 2 bananas are left over. So these 2 bananas are there on the table itself. 1 week have passed. Nobody have eaten those bananas. Now what will happen to these bananas? Have you observed children? If you do not eat the bananas or leave the bananas on the table like that, after 2 days, you will see the flies coming, small little flies. And later on, the color of the banana is also changes. The yellow color of the banana changes into black color. Yes, children? Okay. After 3-4 days, what happens? You will start getting smell. Very bad smell. Okay. So, what is the reason behind this? The reason behind this is spoiling of the food material. So what is happening here children? If you do not preserve the food, or if you leave the food outside, what happens to the food? It will get spoiled. Okay, the food will be spoiled. So to protect the food from spoiling, we should preserve the food. What we have to do children? We have to preserve the food. If you go into your kitchen, after watching the video, please go and visit the kitchen. Okay. So what your parents will do, especially your mother, she will store different food items in different cans. Have you observed? Sometimes in the plastic bottles, sometimes in the glass bottles, or sometimes in the steel containers. Yes? So what they are doing? They are just storing the food from spoiling. So now children, we will learn about preserving food. What we will learn, children? Preserving food. Repeat it after me. Preserving food. Very good. So, if we do not preserve the food, what happens? What happens? Germs grow if food is left over. What happens, children? If you leave the food outside like that, germs grow. What will grow? Germs grow if food is left over. Okay, children? Eating rotten food. If you leave the food like that, it is spoiled. If you eat the spoiled food or the rotten food, eating rotten food make us sick. So, if you go to the market, you observe your parents. Your parents are buying fruits. What kind of fruits they buy? They buy fresh fruits. Will anybody like to take the spoiled fruits, children? Or if you go to a vegetable market, what kind of vegetables you are buying? You buy good and fresh vegetables. Does anybody like to buy the spoiled vegetables? No. Why? Because spoiled vegetables or fruits contains germs. What they contains, children? Germs. If we eat that spoiled or rotten food, what will happen to us? We will become sick. Okay. So we will get some fevers, vomitings, motions. So all this will make us sick. Okay. So to avoid this food should be preserved. So to avoid this spoiling or rotting of the food, we have to preserve the food. What we have to do, children? We have to preserve the food. So to preserve the food, we are having different methods. We have different methods of preservation. Okay, children? Now, we will see them clearly. What are the different methods of preservation? See, children, first one, refrigeration. Repeat it, children. Refrigeration. So, at everybody's home, we have a fridge. The fridge is called as refrigerator. Okay. So, as I said earlier, we store food in the refrigerator. Yes, children? The growth of germs slow down. See, children, storing in the refrigerator will not completely stop the spoilage of the food, but it will slow down the growth of the germs so that the food item can stay for a little longer. For example, in a refrigerator, we can store few food items for few days. See, if you are bringing or putting the vegetables and fruits, we can store them for 4 to 5 days. Okay. If you want to store any cooked food item like curries, Okay. We can store it for 1 or 2 days, not more than that. Okay. Sometimes we bring fish, chicken. Yes, children? Fish, chicken and meat. So sometimes we don't have time to cook them. So what your mother will do? Your mother will put that raw chicken or fish or meat in the deep freezer of the fridge. So you can store there at least 2 to 3 days, not more than that. Okay, children? So storing or preserving the food in a refrigerator can slow down the growth. So what happens? The growth of the germs will be slowed down. So what we have to do, children? We have to preserve the food in the refrigerator at some cool temperatures. Okay. So we'll see the next one. What is the next one? Using preservatives. Using preservatives. Before we learn about this, let me say you a few examples. How many of you love to eat pickles? There are different kinds of pickles at home. Tomato pickle, mango, ginger, yes, chicken. So all varieties of pickles will be prepared by our mother. So in what way the pickles are prepared? So the pickles are preserved by adding salt and oil. Okay, children, to prepare the pickles, what the mother will do? She will add some oil and salt to it. Okay, good. How many of you love to eat jams and jellies? If you want to eat jams and jellies, if you taste them, those are very sweet in taste. Yes? So, sugar is being added in the jams and jellies to preserve the food item. So, children, here we are using some products like sugar, salt and oil as preservatives to store some kind of food material. Okay, children? So, by using the preservatives like sugar, salt and oil. What are those, children, preservatives? Sugar, salt and oil. By adding any of these preservatives, we can store some kind of food materials like pickles, jams and jellies. So everyone loves to eat all these three things: pickles, jams and jellies. So in the pickles we add salt and oil, and in the jams and jellies we are adding sugar or sugar syrup. Okay, children? Either we add sugar or sugar syrup. So children, have you understood these two methods of preservation? Refrigeration, putting the food materials in the refrigerator by using preservatives. Preservatives are some food items like sugar, salt and oil. By using them also, we can store some kind of food materials. Now we will see the other two methods of preservation. Okay, children? So children, what is the other technique? This is called as canning. Repeat it after me, children. Canning. So what is meant by canning? For example, if you go to any supermarket, you find many products in the form of cans. For example, if you want to buy Rasgulla, you will get a tin can in which the Rasgulla are stored. Okay. If you want to buy some kinds of chips or anything, so what they'll do, they will put in the large plastic bottles and they will sell it. So what is all these things? So this procedure of storing the food materials in cans or in the bottles is nothing but canning. What it is, children? Canning. తెలుగులో చెప్పుకుంటాం కదా, ఏమైనా వస్తువులు ఎక్కడ దాచిపెట్టుకుంటాం ఇంట్లో? క్యానుల్లో దాచిపెడతారు. అమ్మ ఏం చేస్తుంది, జంతికలు వండింది అనుకో, అరే ఎక్కడున్నాయి మమ్మీ అంటే క్యాన్లో పెట్టాను రా అంటది. అవునా? ఎందుకు పెడుతుంది? గాలి అది తగలకుండా చక్కగా కరకరలాడుతూ ఉంటాయని క్యాన్లో వేసి పెడుతుంది. అవునా కదా? ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే సమ్ food materials are being processed and they are preserved in the form of cans. That method is called as canning. So what will be done in this canning? First, germs are first killed. First what they will do? They will kill the germs by heating or boiling or cooking. By using any of these methods, first the germs will be killed. Then they will seal the food in the cans. First germs are killed, then food is preserved in the cans. Okay children, if you see the cool drink bottles, we find variety of cool drinks. Yes, so what they are doing, they are preserving in the plastic bottles, sometimes in the glass bottles. Yes or no? So they will tightly fix the caps of the bottles. So we can go to the market and it is very easy for us to bring such food items. So no breakage, no spoilage of the food. So in this canning method, first the germs are killed and then the food is being packed very safely in the cans. Okay. What is the last food preserving technique? Drying. What it is children? Repeat it after me. Drying. What is meant by this drying? Drying means putting them in the sun. If you observe at your home, your mother will put some kind of food materials outside in the sun to dry up. Like chintapandu, tamarind, they will put in the sun. Chilies, red chilies, they will put in the sun. All kinds of dals and pulses, కందిపప్పు, మినప్పప్పు, ఇట్లాంటివన్నీ మమ్మీ ఏం చేస్తుంది? ఎండలో చక్కగా ఆరబెడుతుంది. చూసారా? హ్యావ్ యూ సీన్? ఓకే. అండ్ సమ్టైమ్స్ ఇఫ్ యూ అబ్జర్వ్ seafood like fish, the fish is being dried up in the sun. చూసారా? హ్యావ్ యూ ఎవర్ సీన్ ఇట్? ఓకే. Some food items, what they will do is they will dry the food item to remove the water present in it. What it will contain children? The food contains water. So to remove the water, they will dry the food items so that they can be stored for longer period. ఎక్కువ కాలం అవి మన దగ్గర ఉంచుకోవడానికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది అన్నమాట. Example is dry fish, especially the dry fish. The fish is wet. Yes children, tadiga ఉంటుంది. So what they will do is they will put the fish on the seashore for drying up in the hot sun. The hot sun will remove the water which is present in the fish by evaporation. So now the fish will become dry fish. Now this dry fish can be stored for longer period. Any food item which is used or can be preserved by using this drying method. అందుకే చూడండి, మన ఇంట్లో బట్టలు ఎక్కడ ఆరబెడతాం? తడిచిపోయిన బట్టల్ని ఎండలో ఆరబెడతాం. Why? To dry them up. In the same way, to remove the water content from the food materials are being dried up in the hot sun so that the water is removed from the food material and it can be preserved for longer period. Okay children, so what are the 4 kinds of preserving methods? First one, refrigeration. Repeat it children. Refrigeration. What is the second method? Adding preservatives. Repeat it children. Adding preservatives. Third method, canning. What it is children? Canning. What is the fourth method? Drying. What it is children? Drying. So children, Once again, we will repeat the words. Okay. Refrigeration. Refrigeration. Adding preservatives. Adding preservatives. Canning. Canning. Drying. Drying. Very good, children. So children, after watching this video, I want you to write down in your classwork book the spellings which I have given on the board. Okay, children, write each word 3 times. Read them and write them. Okay, refrigeration, adding preservatives, canning and drying. So these 4 are the different methods of preservation. I hope children you have understood this video. Let us meet in the next video very soon. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay at home and learn more. This is your Saubhagya Madam signing off. Thank you.